how much influence you really have. Right now, you might be thinking a lot but not saying it the right way, or you speak, but people don't feel it, don't follow it, don't take it seriously. That's not because you lack ability. It's because no one showed you how to think clearly, speak simply, and influence people in a real way. In this video, you will learn how to fix your thinking so your decisions improve, how to speak so people actually listen, and how to influence without forcing or acting fake. This is about real-life conversations, real pressure, and real situations you face every day. If you want people to understand you, respect you, and follow your words naturally, then stay with this, because this will change how you think, how you speak, and how people respond to you. Chapter 1. Think smart, so you stop making poor choices. You want to think smart, so you stop making poor choices, and that starts with something very simple that most people ignore every single day, and that is paying attention to what is going on inside your own mind. Most people live on autopilot. They wake up and react. They go through the day and react. Someone says something and they react. Something goes wrong and they react. And then at the end of the day they sit quietly and wonder why their life is not improving. Now here is the truth you need to face. Poor choices do not come from bad luck. Poor choices come from untrained thinking. If your thinking is scattered, your decisions will be scattered. If your thinking is rushed, your decisions will be rushed. And if your thinking is weak, your results will be weak. You have to start becoming aware of your thoughts. Not once a week, not when things go wrong, every single day. When you feel confused, stop for a moment and ask yourself, what exactly am I thinking right now? When you feel stressed, ask yourself, what is the story I am telling myself in this moment? Because your thoughts are not just random noise, they are instructions. They guide your actions, and your actions shape your life. Now listen carefully. A smart thinker does not believe every thought that comes to the mind. That is one of the biggest mistakes people make. They treat every thought like it is true. But your mind will give you fear. Your mind will give you doubt. Your mind will tell you things that are not useful. If you follow all of that, you will keep making poor choices again and again. So here is what you start doing. You slow down your thinking. When you are about to make a decision, do not rush. Most people rush and then regret. Instead, take a moment and ask simple questions. What are the consequences of this choice? Where will this take me in the next few days or weeks? Does this move me forward or hold me back? These are not difficult questions, but they require honesty. You see, smart thinking is not about being clever. It is about being honest with yourself. And honesty is uncomfortable. It forces you to admit when you are wrong. It forces you to see your habits clearly. But that discomfort is where growth begins. Now think about your daily life. Small choices are shaping everything. The way you spend your time, the way you speak to people, the way you react when something does not go your way. These are not small things. These are the building blocks of your future. And if you keep making poor choices in small moments, you will see poor results in big areas of your life. So you have to raise your awareness in those small moments. When you feel like wasting time, ask yourself, is this helping me or hurting me? When you feel like reacting in anger, pause and ask yourself, will this solve the problem or make it worse? That pause is powerful. That small space between feeling and action is where smart thinking lives. Most people do not use that space. They react instantly. And that instant reaction creates long-term problems. A harsh word spoken in a moment of anger can damage a relationship. A careless decision can create stress that lasts for weeks. And all of it started because there was no pause. Now, here is another important part. Your environment affects your thinking more than you realize. The people you spend time with, the content you consume, the conversations you listen to, all of this shapes how you think. If you are surrounded by negative thinking, you will slowly adopt it. If you are surrounded by careless decision-making, you will start doing the same. So you must become selective. Protect your mind. Feed it with better ideas. Spend time with people who think clearly and act wisely. Listen to conversations that challenge you to improve. Because your mind is always learning, even when you are not aware of it. Now let me bring this closer to your personal experience. There are moments when you know what the right choice is, but you still do the opposite. You know you should stay calm, but you react. You know you should focus, but you get distracted. That is not a lack of knowledge. That is a lack of control. And control comes from practice. You do not wake up one day and suddenly think smart all the time. You train yourself. Every time you choose patience over reaction, you are building strength. Every time you choose focus over distraction, you are improving your thinking. These small wins matter more than you think. You also have to understand that mistakes will still happen. Smart thinking does not mean perfect decisions every time. It means better decisions more often. And when you do make a mistake, you do not ignore it. You study it. You ask yourself, what led to this choice? What was I thinking in that moment? What can I change next time? This reflection is powerful. Most people repeat the same mistakes because they never stop to understand them. They just move on and hope things get better. But hope without change does not lead anywhere. Now imagine what happens when you start thinking smart consistently. You feel more in control. You stop feeling lost. Your decisions start creating better results. People begin to trust you more because they see that you are steady and thoughtful. And most importantly, you start respecting yourself more because you know you are not acting blindly anymore. That feeling of self-respect is important. When you know you are making better choices, you stand differently, you speak differently, you carry yourself with more confidence. And that confidence is not loud. It is quiet and strong because it is built on discipline. So here is what you take with you. Start noticing your thoughts. Slow down your decisions. Ask better questions. Create space before you react. Learn from your mistakes. And protect your mind from negative influence. These are simple actions, but they require consistency. You are not trying to change your life overnight. You are training your mind day by day. And as your thinking improves, your choices improve. And as your choices improve, your life begins to move in a better direction. This is not about being perfect. This is about being aware. This is about taking responsibility for your thoughts and actions. And when you do that, you stop blaming situations and start shaping your own path. Think smart, not just once in a while, but as a daily practice, because every choice you make is writing your future. And when you learn to guide your thinking, you begin to guide your life in a way that feels clear, strong, and purposeful. Chapter 2. Speak in a way people enjoy listening. You can say the right words and still lose people if the way you speak makes them feel ignored or uncomfortable. People do not just hear your words, they feel your tone, they notice your energy. They sense your intention. If you want people to enjoy listening to you, then you must start paying attention to how your words land on them, not just how they sound to you. Most people speak to express. Very few speak to connect. And that difference changes everything. Think about the last time someone spoke to you and you actually enjoyed listening. It was not just because of what they said. It was because you felt respected. You felt included. You felt like your presence mattered in that moment. That is what draws people in. When people feel that you care about the conversation, they naturally give you their attention. When they feel ignored or rushed, they start pulling away, even if they do not say it out loud. So the first thing you work on is your intention. Before you speak, ask yourself, why am I saying this? Am I trying to prove something, or am I trying to connect? If your focus is only on proving yourself right, people will feel that pressure. They will close off. But if your focus is on understanding and sharing in a real way, your words will carry a different energy. People relax around that. They open up. They listen longer. Now let us talk about something simple that most people overlook: the speed of your speech. When you speak too fast, people struggle to follow you. They feel like they are being pushed. When you slow down, your words gain weight. They become easier to understand. They feel more calm. This does not mean you speak slowly all the time. It means you control your pace. You give your words space so they can be heard clearly. Your tone also matters more than you think. The same sentence can feel completely different depending on how you say it. If your tone sounds harsh, even simple words can create tension. If your tone sounds calm and steady, people feel safe listening to you. This is something you can practice every day. Pay attention to how your voice sounds when you are relaxed and how it sounds when you are stressed. Learn to bring that calm tone into your conversations, even when things are not going perfectly. Now, here is something powerful. People enjoy listening when they feel understood. That means speaking is not just about talking, it is about listening first. When someone shares something, do not rush to respond. Give them your full attention. Look at them. Let them finish. Then respond in a way that shows you actually heard them. You can repeat a part of what they said or respond directly to their point. This makes people feel seen, and when people feel seen, they value your words more. Another thing that makes people enjoy listening is clarity. If your message is confusing, people will lose interest quickly. You do not need complex words to sound intelligent. In fact, simple words are more powerful because they are easier to understand. When your message is clear, people can follow you without effort. That keeps their attention. It also shows that you respect their time. Now let me bring your attention to something emotional. People remember how you make them feel during a conversation. If they feel judged, they will avoid talking to you. If they feel small, they will stop sharing. But if they feel respected and valued, they will look forward to hearing from you again. So be careful with your words, especially when you disagree. You can share your opinion without attacking the other person. You can correct someone without making them feel wrong. That balance is important. There is also a moment in every conversation where you can either build connection or break it. That moment comes when the other person says something you do not agree with. Most people react immediately. They interrupt. They raise their voice. They try to win. But that reaction creates distance. Instead, pause. Let the moment settle. Then respond calmly. This shows control. It shows maturity. And it makes people more willing to listen to your side. Now think about your body language. Even though we are focusing on speaking, your physical presence supports your words. If you avoid eye contact or look distracted, people will feel that you are not fully present. If you face them and stay engaged, your words carry more strength. People trust what they see as much as what they hear. You also need to become aware of how often you speak compared to how often you listen. If you are always talking, people may feel that there is no space for them. Conversations should feel balanced. Give others the chance to share. When they speak, listen with interest, not just patience. This creates a flow that feels natural. Now, here is something important for your growth. Record yourself speaking or pay attention after conversations. Ask yourself, did I speak clearly? Did I rush? Did I listen enough? This reflection helps you improve faster. Without it, you may keep repeating the same patterns without realizing it. As you keep practicing, you will notice a change. People will start giving you more attention. They will stay in conversations longer. They will respond with more interest. This is not because you are speaking more. It is because you are speaking better. You are creating an experience that feels good for them. And when people enjoy listening to you, your influence naturally grows. You do not need to force it. You do not need to raise your voice. Your words begin to carry weight because people trust the way you communicate. They know you are not just talking for the sake of it. You are speaking with purpose and awareness. So take this seriously. The way you speak can open doors or close them. It can build relationships or weaken them. It can create opportunities or push them away. This is not about changing who you are. It is about refining how you express yourself so that people can truly understand and connect with you. Practice speaking with intention. Practice listening with focus. Practice slowing down and choosing your words carefully. These small changes will transform the way people experience you. And once people enjoy listening to you, your voice becomes something valuable, not just noise in the background. Chapter 3. Win trust by being real in conversations. Trust is not built by saying perfect words or trying to impress people with how much you know. Trust is built when people feel that what they see from you is real and consistent. In conversations, people are always sensing more than just your words. They notice when something feels off. They notice when you are pretending. They notice when your tone and your words do not match. And when that happens, they start holding back, even if they continue talking to you on the surface. Most people try too hard to sound right instead of being honest. They shape their words based on what they think will be accepted. They hide their true thoughts because they are afraid of being judged. But this creates distance. It may feel safe in the moment, but it prevents real connection. When people cannot see your real side, they cannot trust. They may respect you in a limited way, but they will not feel close to you. Being real in conversations does not mean saying everything without control. It means being honest with awareness. It means expressing your thoughts in a way that is true but also respectful. You do not need to share every detail of your life, but what you choose to share should be genuine. When you speak from a place of truth, your voice carries a different feeling. People sense that you are not trying to play a role. Now think about how you respond when someone asks you a simple question about how you are doing. Many people give automatic answers without thinking. They say they are fine even when they are not. This small habit may seem harmless, but it trains you to disconnect from your own truth. Over time, this shows up in bigger conversations. You start giving safe answers instead of real ones, and people feel that distance, even if they cannot explain it. You can start changing this by being more present in your responses. When someone asks you something, take a brief moment to check in with yourself. Answer in a way that reflects your actual state, while still keeping respect for the situation. This small shift helps you stay aligned with yourself. It also makes your conversations feel more natural and less forced. Another important part of being real is admitting when you do not know something. Many people feel pressure to always have an answer. They think that saying, "I do not know," will make them look weak. But the opposite is true. When you admit that you do not know something, you show honesty. You show that you are not pretending, and that builds trust faster than giving a false or unclear answer. People appreciate clarity more than perfection. If you are unsure about something, say it clearly. If you need time to think, say that as well. This shows that you respect the truth more than your image, and that is something people remember. Now let us talk about consistency. Trust grows when your words and your actions match over time. If you speak in one way today and act in a completely different way tomorrow, they start questioning whether they can rely on what you say. But when you remain consistent in how you communicate and behave, people begin to feel secure around you. Consistency does not mean you never change your mind. It means when you do change your mind, you explain it honestly. You take responsibility for your shift instead of ignoring it. This shows maturity. It shows that your words are not random. They are connected to your thinking and your values. There is also something important about your emotional presence in conversations. When you are real, you allow your natural emotions to show in a balanced way. You do not hide everything, and you do not lose control. You stay aware of how you feel and you express it with care. This makes your conversations feel alive. People can feel that they are talking to someone genuine, not someone who is. At the same time, you must avoid using honesty as an excuse to hurt others. Being real does not mean being careless. You can speak truth in a calm and respectful tone. You can share your thoughts without making the other person feel attacked. This balance is what keeps trust strong. Without it, honesty can turn into damage. Now consider how you react when someone shares something personal with you. That is a moment of trust. If you dismiss, but if you stay present and respond with care, you strengthen it. People remember how you handle these moments. They remember if they felt safe opening up to you. You also need to watch your habits in small interactions. Trust is not only built in deep conversations, it is built in everyday moments. The way you respond to messages, the way you keep your word, the way you handle simple agreements, all of this shows people who you are. If you say you will do something and you follow through, people start relying on you. If you speak casually and do not follow through, people start doubting you. Now there will be times when being real feels uncomfortable. You may feel nervous before expressing your true opinion. You may feel unsure about how the other person will react. This is normal. Growth often feels uncomfortable, but every time you choose honesty with awareness, you build strength. You become more confident in your own voice. Over time, you will notice that your conversations become more meaningful. People will share more with you. They will trust your words more. They will seek your opinion because they know you are not just saying what sounds good. You are speaking from a place that is grounded and real. This also changes how you see yourself. When you stop pretending and start, you are not carrying the pressure of maintaining an image. You are simply being yourself with awareness and intention. That creates a sense of calm that people can feel. So focus on being present in your conversations. Speak what is true for you in a respectful way. Admit when you do not know something. Stay consistent in your words and actions. Handle personal moments with care and keep your promises even in small things. These are simple actions, but they create a strong foundation. Trust is not built in one conversation. It grows over time through repeated honest interactions. Every time you choose to be real, you are adding to that foundation. And once people trust you, your influence becomes natural. You do not need to force it. Your words carry weight because they come from a place that people believe in. Chapter 4. Stay sharp when pressure hits your mind. Pressure is a part of life that no one escapes. It shows up when decisions matter. It shows up when time is limited. It shows up when people are watching you and expecting something from you. In those moments, your mind can either stay clear or become overwhelmed. And the difference between those two states often decides the result you get. Most people lose control not because they lack ability, but because they have never trained their mind to stay sharp under pressure. When pressure hits your mind, the first thing that usually happens is your thoughts start speeding up. You begin thinking about too many things at once. What if this goes wrong? What will people think? What if I fail? This flood of thoughts creates confusion, and when your mind is confused, your actions become weak. You hesitate. You second-guess yourself. You make choices that you later regret. To stay sharp, you must first recognize what is happening inside you. You need to notice when your breathing changes. You need to notice when your body feels tense. These are signals. Your body is telling you that pressure is rising. Most people ignore these signals until they are already overwhelmed. But if you catch it early, you can take control. Start by slowing your breathing. This is simple but powerful. When you breathe slowly, your body begins to relax. Your heart rate settles. Your mind becomes less scattered. You do not need anything special to do this. Just take a steady breath in and let it out slowly. Do this a few times. This small action creates space in your mind. It gives you a chance to think instead of react. Now bring your focus back to what matters. Under pressure, your mind tries to jump ahead and imagine outcomes. It tries to solve everything at once. That does not help. Instead, focus on the next step. Ask yourself, what is the most important thing I need to do right now? Not everything, just the next step. This keeps your mind grounded. It stops you from getting lost in unnecessary thoughts. You also need to train yourself to accept pressure instead of fighting it. Many people resist it. They wish it would go away. They feel uncomfortable and try to escape the situation. But pressure is often a sign that something important is happening. It means you are in a moment that matters. When you accept that you stop wasting energy on resistance, you use that energy to stay present. Now think about how you talk to yourself in these moments. Your inner voice becomes very loud under pressure. If that voice is negative, it will weaken you. If it keeps telling you that you cannot handle this, you will start believing it. So you must guide that voice. Speak to yourself in a calm and direct way. Remind yourself that you can handle the situation step by step. This is not about pretending everything is easy. It is about keeping your mind steady. Another key part of staying sharp is preparation. You cannot expect to stay calm in pressure if you are always unprepared. Preparation builds confidence. When you know that you have put in the effort, you trust yourself more. This reduces panic. It allows you to focus on execution instead of worrying about what you do not know. But even with preparation, things can still go wrong. Plans can change. Situations can shift. That is where flexibility comes in. A sharp mind adapts. It does not freeze when something unexpected happens. It adjusts quickly. This comes from practice. When you face small challenges in your daily life, handle them with awareness. This builds your ability to respond under bigger pressure later. Now let us talk about emotions. Pressure often brings strong emotions: fear, frustration, doubt. These emotions are natural. The goal is not to remove them. The goal is to manage them. When you feel fear, do not push it away. Acknowledge it. Understand that it is part of the moment. Then bring your attention back to your task. This prevents emotions from taking control of your actions. Your environment also plays a role. In high-pressure situations, there can be noise, distractions, and people reacting around you. If you allow all of that to enter your mind, you will lose focus. You must learn to filter what you pay attention to. Focus on what is relevant. Let the rest fade into the background. This is a skill that improves with practice. Now consider your physical state. If you are tired or stressed all the time, your ability to handle pressure will be weaker. Your mind needs energy to stay sharp. That means you must take care of your rest, your food, and your daily habits. These may seem like small things, but they have a big impact on how you perform when it matters. There is also something important about experience. The more you face pressure, the more familiar it becomes. At first, it may feel overwhelming, but over time you start recognizing the patterns. You start understanding how your mind reacts. This awareness gives you an advantage. You begin to handle situations with more control. You should not avoid pressure. You should seek situations that challenge you. This does not mean putting yourself in extreme situations. It means stepping slightly outside your comfort zone regularly. Speak in situations where you feel nervous. Take responsibility for tasks that feel demanding. Each time you do this, you are training your mind. Now imagine yourself in a moment where everything feels intense. People are waiting. Time is short. Your mind starts to race. Instead of getting lost, you pause. You take a breath. You focus on the next step. You guide your thoughts. You act with clarity. That is what staying sharp looks like. It is not about being fearless. It is about being controlled. Over time, this becomes part of who you are. People will notice that you remain steady when others are losing control. They will trust you more in important situations. They will look to you for direction. This is how influence begins to grow, not through loud actions but through quiet control. So train your mind every day. Pay attention to your thoughts. Practice staying calm in small moments. Prepare for your responsibilities. Accept pressure as part of growth. Guide your inner voice. Focus on what matters. These actions build a strong mental foundation. When pressure hits your mind, you have a choice. You can let it control you, or you can control how you respond. And when you learn to stay sharp in those moments, you begin to operate at a higher level. Your decisions improve, your confidence grows, your presence becomes stronger, and that is what sets you apart from those who react without thinking. Chapter 5. Turn your thoughts into clear, strong words. You can have good ideas in your mind and still struggle to express them in a way that people understand. This is where many people feel stuck. They think clearly inside, but when it is time to speak, their words come out scattered or unclear. Others lose interest or misunderstand the message. Over time, this creates frustration because you know you have something valuable to say, but it is not coming out the way you want. The ability to turn your thoughts into clear, strong words is a skill that changes how people see you. It affects your confidence, your influence, and the way others respond to your ideas. This skill does not depend on being perfect with language. It depends on how well you organize your thinking before you speak, and how simply you express it. Most confusion in speaking starts with confusion in thinking. If your thoughts are not structured, your words will not be structured. So the first step is to slow down your thinking and bring order to it. When you have something to say, take a brief moment and ask yourself, what is the main point I want to deliver? Not 3 points, not 5 points, just one. When your mind focuses on one idea, your words become more direct. After you identify your main point, think about how you can support it in a simple way. You do not need long explanations. You need clarity. Ask yourself, what is the easiest way to explain this so that someone with no background can understand it? This helps you remove unnecessary words and keep only what matters. Pay attention to how you begin speaking. If you start with hesitation, your message loses strength. If you start with clarity, people follow you more easily. You do not need to sound perfect. You need to sound certain about what you are saying. This certainty comes from understanding your own thoughts. Another important part is avoiding overthinking while speaking. Some people try to plan every word in their mind before saying it. This creates tension. It slows down the flow. Once you know your main point, allow your words to come naturally. If you make a small mistake, keep going. Do not stop yourself. The goal is communication, not perfection. Now consider how you structure your sentences. Long and complicated sentences often confuse people. Short and clear sentences are easier to follow. When you speak, keep your message direct. Say one idea at a time, give it space. Then move. This creates a rhythm that people can understand. Your voice also carries your message. If your tone is uncertain, people may doubt your words even if your idea is strong. If your tone is steady, your message feels more reliable. This does not mean you need to sound loud or forceful. It means you speak with control and clarity. There is also something important about pausing. Many people feel uncomfortable with silence, so they try to fill every moment with words. But pauses are useful. They give you time to think. They give the listener time to process. When you pause at the right moment, your words feel more deliberate. They carry more impact. Think about how you handle moments when you lose track of your thoughts. This happens to everyone. The difference is how you respond. Instead of panicking or rushing, take a brief pause, reset your focus, return to your main point. This keeps your message stable. People respect composure more than speed. You also need to practice turning complex thoughts into simple language. This requires effort. Take something you understand well and try explaining it in the simplest way possible. Imagine you are explaining it to someone who is hearing it for the first time. This exercise strengthens your ability to communicate clearly in real situations. Another powerful habit is speaking out loud when you are alone. This may feel unusual at first, but it helps you hear your own words. You become aware of where you hesitate. You notice where your sentences become unclear. This awareness allows you to improve faster. Now let us talk about emotional clarity. When you speak, your emotional state affects your words. If you feel rushed, your words may come out scattered. If you feel calm, your words flow better. So before important conversations, take a moment to center yourself. This helps you stay clear while speaking. You should also pay attention to feedback. Notice how people respond when you speak. Do they understand you quickly, or do they ask for clarification? Do they stay engaged or lose focus? These signals help you adjust your communication. Improvement comes from awareness and adjustment. As you continue practicing, you will notice a change. Your thoughts will feel more organized. Your words will come out more naturally. You will feel more confident when speaking because you trust your ability to express yourself. This confidence is not about showing off. It is about knowing that you can communicate your ideas clearly. This skill also strengthens your influence. When people understand you easily, they are more likely to consider your ideas. They feel comfortable listening to you. They respect your ability to explain things in a way that makes sense. So focus on your thinking first. Identify your main point. Keep your language simple. Speak with a steady tone. Use pauses when learn from your own experience. These actions build your ability step by step. Turning your thoughts into clear, strong words is not a talent you are born with. It is a skill you develop with practice and awareness. And once you develop it, you will notice that your conversations become more effective, your ideas gain more attention, and your presence becomes stronger in every situation where communication matters. Chapter 6. Read people well before you try to lead. If you try to lead people without understanding them, you will face resistance even if your ideas are good. People do not follow words alone. They respond to how well you understand their needs, their emotions, and their situation. When you fail to read people, you speak in a way that misses their reality, and when that happens, your message feels distant and disconnected. To read people, well, you must slow down your urge to speak and observe what is happening around you. Many people rush into conversations with the goal of leading or influencing. They start explaining, giving advice, or pushing ideas before they understand who they are dealing with. This creates a gap. People feel that you are not paying attention to them. They may listen politely, but they will not fully engage. Start by paying attention to how people behave when they speak. Notice their tone. Notice the speed of their speech. Notice whether they seem relaxed or tense. These small details give you information about their state of mind. A person who speaks quickly and avoids eye contact may be feeling nervous. A person who speaks slowly with a steady tone may feel more comfortable. When you observe these signals, you begin to understand how you also need to listen beyond the words. People do not always say exactly what they feel. Sometimes their words are simple, but their emotions are deeper. If you focus only on the words, you may miss what is really going on. Listen carefully and ask yourself what might be behind what they are saying. This does not mean you guess or assume. It means you stay aware and open to understanding more. Another important part is notice when someone suddenly becomes quiet or changes their tone. It often means something has shifted. Instead of ignoring it, you can gently acknowledge it. You can ask if everything is okay or if they would like to share more. This shows that you are paying attention. It also helps you understand the situation better. Now consider how people react to different topics. Some topics make them more engaged while others make them withdraw. This gives you insight into what matters to them. When you understand what people care about, you can connect your message to those areas. This makes your communication more effective because it feels relevant to them. You must also be aware of your own assumptions. It is easy to believe that others think the same way you do, but that is rarely true. Each person has their own experiences, their own challenges, and their own perspective. If you approach everyone with the same mindset, you will miss important details. So stay curious. Ask questions. Give people the chance to share their point of view. When you ask questions, do it with genuine interest. Do not ask just to move the conversation forward. Ask because you want to understand. People can sense the difference. When they feel that your interest is real, they open up more. This gives you better insight and helps you respond in a more thoughtful way. Another key part of reading people is understanding emotions in the moment. When someone feels frustrated or upset, it is not the right time to push your ideas strongly. First, acknowledge their state. Let them feel heard. Once the emotion settles, your words will have more space to be received. Timing matters. Even a good message can fail if it is delivered at the wrong moment. You should also notice how people respond to you specifically. Some may respond quickly while others take time. Some may ask questions while others stay quiet. These responses tell you how comfortable they are and how they process information. Adjust your approach based on this. This shows flexibility and respect. Now think about how trust connects to this process. When people feel understood, they trust you more. When they trust you, they become. This is where influence begins, not from force, but from connection. Reading people well allows you to build that connection naturally. You also need to stay patient. Understanding people takes time. You cannot learn everything about someone in a single conversation. It is a process. Each interaction gives you more information. Over time you begin to see patterns, you understand how they think, how they react, and what. There will be moments when you misunderstand someone. This is normal. What matters is how you handle it. If you realize that you have misunderstood, you can acknowledge it. You can clarify. This shows humility and keeps the connection strong. Pretending that you understand when you do not can create confusion later. As you develop this skill, you will notice a shift in your conversations. You will speak less at the beginning and observe more. Your responses will become more accurate. People will feel that you understand them even without them explaining everything. This creates a sense of ease in your interactions. When it is time to lead, your words will carry more weight because they are built on understanding. You will know how to present your ideas in a way that connects with the people you are speaking to. You will choose the right tone, the right timing, and the right approach. This makes your influence stronger without needing to push. So focus on observing before speaking. Listen beyond words. Notice behavior and emotional signals. Stay curious and ask thoughtful questions. Adjust your approach based on what you learn. Give yourself time to understand people deeply. These actions will strengthen your ability. Leading is not about talking more or being louder. It is about connecting with people in a way that makes them feel understood. And when people feel understood, they are more willing to listen to you and move in the direction you guide them. Chapter 7. Keep your cool when talks get difficult. Difficult conversations test who you really are. It is easy to speak well when everything feels comfortable and smooth. It is easy to stay calm when people agree with you, but when tension rises, when voices change, when emotions become strong, that is where your true level shows. In those moments, most people lose control of themselves before they even realize it. Their tone becomes. Keeping your cool is not about pretending that nothing is happening. It is about staying in control of yourself while everything around you may feel intense. This is a skill that can change your relationships, your reputation, and your ability to influence others. When you stay steady in difficult talks, people notice it. They feel it. And it shifts how the conversation unfolds. The first thing you must understand is that your initial reaction is not always your best response. When something triggers you, your body reacts quickly. Your heart rate rises, your thoughts speed up, and you feel the urge to respond immediately. That quick reaction often leads to words you later wish you had not said, so you must train yourself to pause before you respond. This pause does not need to be long. Even a few seconds can make a difference. In that short moment, you give yourself time to think instead of react. You allow your mind to catch up with your emotions. This simple habit can prevent many unnecessary conflicts. Now pay attention to your breathing in these moments. When tension rises, your breathing becomes shallow and fast. This adds to the feeling of pressure. If you take a slow, steady breath, you begin to calm your body. This helps you regain control. It may seem like a small action, but it has a strong effect on how you feel and how you respond. Another important part is understanding that the other person is also experiencing their own emotions. They may feel frustrated, unheard, or stressed. If you focus only on your own feelings, you will miss this. When you recognize that both sides are dealing with emotions, it becomes easier to approach the conversation with awareness instead of aggression. Now consider the words you choose when things get difficult. It is easy to use strong or harsh words when you feel challenged, but those words can create damage that lasts longer than the conversation itself. Instead, choose words you can express your point without attacking the other person. You can disagree without raising your voice. Tone plays a major role here. Even if your words are reasonable, a harsh tone can create tension. A calm tone can reduce it. When you keep your voice steady, you send a signal that you are in control. This often influences the other person to lower their intensity as well. You also need to avoid interrupting. When someone is speaking in a heated moment, they want to feel heard. If you interrupt them, it increases their frustration. Let them finish. Listen carefully. This does not mean you agree with them. It means you respect the process of the conversation. There may be moments when the other person says something unfair or incorrect. Your instinct may be to correct them immediately, but timing, if emotions are high, your correction may not be received well. Sometimes it is better to wait until the situation becomes calmer before addressing the issue. You should also stay focused on the topic instead of bringing up past issues. In difficult talks, people often start adding more problems into the conversation. This creates confusion and makes it harder to resolve anything. Keep your attention on the current matter. This helps keep Another key point is managing your body language. Your posture, your facial expressions, and your movements all send signals. If you appear tense or defensive, it adds to the tension. If you stay relaxed and open, it creates a more balanced environment. People respond to what they see as much as what they hear. There will be times when you feel overwhelmed. In those moments, it is okay to take a break. You can calmly say that you need a moment to think. This is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of control. It shows that you value the conversation enough to handle it properly. Now think about the outcome you want from the conversation. Do you want to win an argument, or do you want to find a solution? These are not the same. When your goal is to win, you may push harder and create more resistance. When your goal is to find a solution, you approach the conversation with more balance. This shift in mindset changes how you speak and how you listen. You must also learn to accept that not every conversation will end perfectly. Sometimes you may not reach agreement, but even then you can maintain respect. You can end the conversation without damaging the relationship. As you practice keeping your cool, you will notice that you feel more confident in these situations. You are no longer afraid of difficult talks. You know that you can handle them with awareness. This confidence changes how others see you. They trust you more in challenging moments. Over time, people will start to rely on your calm presence. They will feel more comfortable discussing difficult topics with you. It also increases your influence because people know you can handle pressure without losing control. So work on your pause. Control your breathing. Choose your words carefully. Keep your tone steady. Listen without interrupting. Stay focused on the topic. Manage your body language. Take breaks when needed and keep your goal clear. Difficult conversations are part of life. You cannot avoid. When you keep your cool, you protect your relationships, your reputation, and your ability to lead. And that is a skill that will serve you in every area of your life. Chapter 8. Guide conversations without sounding pushy or fake. When you try to guide a conversation, there is a fine line between leading it well and pushing it too hard. People can feel the difference immediately. When you sound pushy, they start to resist, even if they do not say it openly. When you sound fake, they stop trusting your words. But when you guide a conversation in a natural way, people stay engaged and they move with you without. This is where real influence begins. The first thing you must understand is that guiding a conversation is not about controlling every word or forcing a direction. It is about creating a flow where both sides feel involved. Many people make the mistake of trying to dominate the conversation. They talk too much. They try to steer everything quickly. This creates discomfort. People feel like they are being led without choice. Instead, you need to let the other person speak. Let them share their thoughts fully. When people feel heard, they become more open. This openness gives you the opportunity to guide the conversation gently. If you skip this step and move too fast, you lose that opportunity. Now think about how you introduce your ideas. If you present them in a strong and forceful way, people may feel pressured. They may agree on the surface but not fully accept what you are saying. A better approach is to bring your ideas in a calm and inviting way. You can share your perspective and then allow the other person to respond. This creates a sense of balance. Another important part is using questions wisely. Questions are powerful because they guide thinking without forcing it. Instead of telling someone what to do, you can ask a question that helps them see the situation differently. When people arrive at an idea through their own thinking, they are more likely to accept it. But your questions must feel genuine. If they sound like a hidden way of pushing your opinion, people will notice. Ask with curiosity. Ask because you want to explore the idea together. This keeps the conversation natural. Your tone also plays a big role. If your tone sounds too eager or too intense, it can feel uncomfortable. A steady and relaxed tone makes people feel at ease. It shows that you are confident, but not trying to force anything. This balance is important. You should also pay attention to timing. Do not rush to guide the conversation from the beginning. Let it develop first. Understand the direction it is already taking. Then slowly introduce your input. This makes your guidance feel like a natural part of the conversation instead of a sudden shift. Another key point is avoiding the need to win. When your focus is on winning, you become more aggressive in your approach. You try to prove your point instead of guiding the discussion. This creates resistance. When your focus is on understanding and moving forward, together your approach becomes softer and more effective. Now consider how you respond when someone disagrees with you. This is a critical moment. If you push harder, you create tension. If you dismiss their view, you lose trust. Instead, acknowledge their perspective, show that you understand their point, then share your view calmly. This keeps the conversation open. You also need to stay flexible. A conversation does not always go in the direction you expect. If you try to force it back, you may break the flow. Instead, adapt. Find a way to connect your idea to the current direction. This requires awareness and quick thinking. Another important element is your intention. People can sense whether you are trying to help or trying to control. If your intention is to guide in a helpful way, your words will feel more genuine. If your intention is to push your agenda, your words will feel heavy. You should also avoid over-explaining. When you talk too much, people start losing interest. Keep your points clear and simple. Give the other person space to respond. This keeps the conversation active and balanced. Now think about your presence in the conversation. Stay engaged. Show interest. Use small responses to show that you are following along. This makes when they feel comfortable, they are more open to your guidance. There will be moments when you need to shift the conversation more directly. When you do this, keep it smooth. You can connect your point to something already discussed. This makes the shift feel natural. Abrupt changes can feel forced and break the flow. As you practice this skill, you will notice that people start responding differently. They will not feel pressured. They will stay involved. They will consider your ideas more openly. This is because you are not pushing them. You are guiding them. This approach also builds trust. People feel that you respect their space and their thoughts. They feel that you are not trying to control them. This creates a positive experience in the conversation. Over time, this becomes part of your communication style. You no longer feel the need to force anything. You understand how to guide with ease. This makes your influence stronger because it feels natural. So focus on creating space. Listen fully. Use questions with care. Keep your tone steady. Choose the right timing. Stay flexible. Avoid the need to win. Keep your intention clear. Speak simply. Stay engaged. Guiding a conversation is not about power. It is about awareness and balance. When you learn this skill, you can move conversations in a positive direction without creating resistance. And that is how you influence others in a way that feels real and respectful. Chapter 9. Make people feel heard so they respect you. Respect is not something you demand from people. It is something they give when they feel valued in your presence. One of the strongest ways to earn that respect is by making people feel heard, not just listened to for a few seconds, but truly heard in a way that makes them feel their words matter. This is where many people fall short. They hear sounds but they do not connect with meaning. They wait for their turn to speak instead of taking in what is being said. When someone is speaking to you, they are not only sharing words, they are sharing their thoughts, their concerns, and sometimes their emotions. If you treat that moment lightly, they feel it immediately. They may continue talking, but something inside them pulls back. On the other hand, when you give full attention, they relax. They feel safe to express themselves. To make people feel heard, you must first remove distractions. When you divide your attention between the person and something else, it shows. Even if you try to hide it, your focus is not complete. So when someone speaks to you, bring your attention fully to them. Look at them. Stay present. This simple act sends a clear message that they matter in that moment. Now pay attention to how you respond. If you jump in too quickly with your own thought, the other person may feel that you are more interested in your own voice than theirs. Let them finish. Give their words space. This shows patience and respect. Once they have finished, you can reflect on what they said. You do not need to repeat everything, but you can respond in a way that shows you understood their point. You can mention a key part of what they shared. This confirms that you were listening with attention. Another important part is your body language. Your face, your posture, and your small movements all communicate something. If you appear bored or distracted, it creates distance. If you stay engaged and open, it creates comfort. People notice these details even if they do not say it. You also need to manage your inner thoughts while listening. Sometimes you may disagree with what is being said. Your mind may start forming a response before the other person finishes. This pulls your attention away from listening. Instead, stay focused on understanding first. You will have time to share your view later. Now think about how you handle emotional moments. When someone shares something important or sensitive, they are taking a risk. If you respond with care, you strengthen trust. If you respond casually or change the subject, in those moments your presence matters more than your words. Sometimes just being there and acknowledging their feelings is enough. You must also avoid interrupting even when you feel excited to respond. Interrupting sends a message that their words are less important than yours. It breaks their flow. It can make them feel dismissed. Even if your intention is good, the impact can be negative. Another powerful habit is asking thoughtful questions after they speak. Not random questions, but ones that show you are interested in understanding more. This keeps the conversation alive and shows that you value their perspective. It also helps you gain deeper insight. There will be times when you do not fully understand what someone is saying. Instead of pretending to understand, you can ask for clarification. This shows honesty. It shows people appreciate that more than false agreement. You also need to be careful with giving advice too quickly. Many people do not always want solutions right away. Sometimes they just want to be heard. If you jump into advice mode immediately, it can feel like you are not listening to their experience. Take time to understand before offering suggestions. Consider how consistency plays a role. Making people feel heard is not a one-time. It is a habit. Every conversation is an opportunity. When you show this level of attention consistently, people begin to trust you more. They feel comfortable sharing with you. This also changes how people treat you. When you give respect through listening, you often receive it in return. People become more attentive when you speak. They value your words because they know you value theirs. As you practice this skill, you will notice a shift. Conversations become deeper. People open up more. You build stronger connections without forcing anything. This is because you are creating an environment where people feel valued. There is also a personal benefit. When you listen well, you learn more, you gain different perspectives, you understand situations more clearly. This improves your thinking and your decision-making. So focus on being fully present. Remove distraction. Use your body language to show engagement. Manage your inner thoughts. Handle emotional moments with care. Avoid interrupting. Ask meaningful questions. Take time before giving advice. Making people feel heard is not complicated, but it requires attention and intention. When you do this well, you create a space where people feel comfortable and respected, and when people feel that way around you, they naturally give you their respect. Chapter 10. Grow daily, so your influence feels natural. Influence that feels natural does not come from trying to control people or impress them in every conversation. It grows quietly from who you become over time. People are always observing even when they are not saying anything. They notice how you think, how you speak, how you handle situations, and how you treat others. These small observations shape how much they trust you and how much they are willing to follow your lead. This is why daily growth matters. It builds a foundation that others can feel without you needing to announce it. If you only focus on influencing others without improving yourself, your efforts will feel forced. You may say the right words, but something will feel missing. People sense when growth is not real. They may listen, but they will not. On the other hand, when you work on yourself consistently, your presence changes. You become more steady. You become more clear in your thinking. You become more confident in your actions. This creates influence without effort. Daily growth begins with awareness. You must be willing to look at yourself honestly. Not once in a while, but regularly. Ask yourself, how did I handle my conversations today? Did I express myself clearly? Did I treat people with respect? These questions help you see where you are improving and where you need to adjust. You do not need to make big changes every day. Small improvements are enough. Focus on one area at a time. Maybe today you work on listening more carefully. Tomorrow you focus on choosing better words. Another day you focus on staying calm under pressure. They shape your habits, and your habits shape your character. Consistency is the key. Many people feel motivated for a short time and then stop. They expect quick results, and when they do not see them, they lose focus. But real growth is steady. It happens over days, weeks, and months. You must stay committed even when you do not see immediate change. Trust that your effort is building something valuable. Now think about how you handle mistakes. Growth does not mean you will always get things right. There will be moments when you say something you regret or handle a situation poorly. What matters is how you respond to those moments. Instead of ignoring them, take time to reflect. Ask yourself what you can learn from that experience. This helps you avoid repeating the same mistake. You also need to expose yourself to new ideas. Your thinking grows when you learn. Read, listen, observe, and reflect. Pay attention to people who communicate well. Notice how they handle conversations, how they stay calm, and how they express their ideas. You do not copy them, but you learn from what you see. Another important part is taking action. Learning without action does not create change. You must apply what. Speak up when you have something to say. Practice staying composed in challenging situations. Try new approaches in your conversations. Each action builds experience, and experience strengthens your confidence. Your environment also influences your growth. Spend time with people who are focused on improving themselves. Being around such individuals pushes you to do better. It keeps you aware of your own. If you stay in an environment where growth is not valued, it becomes harder to stay consistent. There is also something important about patience with yourself. Growth takes time and effort. You will not change everything at once. There will be days when you feel strong and days when you feel off. This is part of the process. Do not judge yourself too harshly. Stay focused on progress. As you continue growing daily, you will notice changes and they will start paying more attention to your words. They will trust your judgment more. They will feel comfortable following your lead. This does not happen because you are trying to influence them directly. It happens because they see your consistency and your growth. Your influence becomes natural because it is based on who you are, not just what you say. You do not need to convince people. Your actions speak for you. Your presence carries weight. This is the kind of influence that lasts. So keep your focus on daily improvement. Stay aware of your actions. Make small changes. Learn from your experiences. Take consistent action. Surround yourself with the right people. Be patient with your progress. Every day is an opportunity to become a better version of yourself. When you use that opportunity consistently, your growth becomes visible. And when your growth becomes visible, your influence becomes something that people respect and respond to without feeling any pressure.